Okay, so I'm not sure how long it's been since I've posted a video on the tent, but I was cutting some leaves off, doing some watering and stuff like that, so I thought I'd take you guys around. Not sure how much has changed, but take a look. This is my Glandulifera cross Loeivicii Bastiana. I really like this plant, and it normally looks a little bit better. Pictures are a little bit bigger, but since I repotted it, it's kind of shrunk a little bit. It's still super, super nice, though. And these pictures can get really dark. They're super bright when they first pop. Next to that is a Truncata D cross Louii. This is its newest picture that probably popped maybe like a week or two ago now. Not sure if you can see the lid hairs on there. There are a couple small ones. It's a really nice plant. It's just been fairly slow growing. Now it's starting to give more consistent leaf jumps, though, which is nice. It's kind of starting to be similar to Truncata in the fact that it's slow growing, but each leaf is usually a little bit bigger than the last. Speaking of Truncata, here's a clone from AW. This is Highland Reddish Leaves. It's got a few different names I've seen it go by, but Reddish Leaves. You can see a new leaf coming out. It's got that reddish tone that they start out with. It's getting to be a pretty decent sized plant. Let's see. PDA down here has a fresh picture. This just popped, I think, 2 days ago. Pretty nice. It's got a bunch of pictures down here. This one might need repotted soon. I'm not sure. It's been in the same pot forever, and its vine starts there, goes up all the way up here. So we'll see if we can get a flower off of it. I'm not sure if PDA is a sterile clone, but I've heard that people can have issues breeding with it, but we'll see. Speaking of breeding and flowers, this is a Vicii that just went into flower, looks to be male. Peristomes normally stay a bit more flared than this. This is the first one I've had kind of take this shape. But this is, I believe, a seed-grown plant from... I'm not sure who the seed originates from, but I got it from Red Barn Carnivores a little while back. It was already a decent-sized plant. It's just put on a pretty good amount of size. I really like seeing the kind of crawling habit of it. It's super neat. It's so different from all the other plants. Here's a Ventricosa I moved up here. It just seemed to be wanting a bit more light, so I moved it up on the top shelf, hoping that under this florawave it'd do a bit better. Unfortunately, all its pictures are kind of hidden or dying off. Here's a Raja Vicii. This is its newest picture, and I think its largest. Pretty nice. You can kind of see the Raja shape of the peristome, especially down here, and how flared it stays. I mean, it's not going to roll back any more than this. It stays pretty heavily flared. I really like this plant. You can tell the leaf that it's off of is, pretty decent size, but these newest leaves it's put out are significantly larger. So I'm hoping I'll get a picture jump off of that, but we'll wait and see. I've got a Suki back here. There's not really much to show on it. I cut all of its adult pictures off because they had pretty much dried up. But it's got a couple basils down there at the bottom. One of its basils is pretty decent size. So probably going to chop up the mother plant at some point. Here's a Rubbigiae Robcantlii that just wasn't super happy in the fridge. And I moved it here, and it's actually seemed to do quite a bit better. I figured it was a good time to move it with it being fall and it's starting to cool down. Now that we're getting cooler days, I figured it'd be less of a severe adjustment for it. Sanguinea Orange. Not too much to show on it right now, just because, as you can tell, it's put on a lot of size. It's got a basil coming on, and it just got repotted. Its old pot was drying up pretty quickly, and the pictures were starting to get a little lackluster. But hopefully this will fix it. And I mean, I'm excited about the basil. So let's see, what have we got down here? This is a Truncata from Predatory Plants. This is their Titan's Tower. Here's its newest picture. Pretty nice. I don't know how well you can pick up the striping on the camera, but it's definitely still visible in person, but it's not as well defined as whenever they first pop. Here's a Truncata Edwardsiana. This one has given me a couple little funky pictures. I mean, nothing horrible, but like, you can tell the lid on this one's a little small and kind of weird. I think this picture's fine. Really nice plant. It's got a new picture coming along here. I mean, it's growing steadily. It's not putting on a whole lot of size, but seems to be happy. Let's see, here's a Veitchii. This is one of the BE clones. This one, the body gets pretty pink, especially like with the right lighting and temperatures. It gets pretty pink. Right now it's just kind of a light yellowy with a pink hue. And the peristome's golden with some faint pink stripes that are kind of starting to fade now. But I'm not sure exactly which clone this is. 4033. Yeah, BE 4033. It's putting on some decent leaf jumps. Pretty exciting. Over here is another Truncata Edwardsiana. This is my larger one. I don't think you can see how much nectar's on it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This thing's always coated in nectar. I came in here this morning and there was just, I mean, it was just dripping with nectar. It's nuts. It's getting to be pretty big too. The pictures themselves, I think, are about like 10 inches or so. Super toothy. Definitely one of my favorites. I like how deep purple the interior gets once they start to age. Super, super cool. And I mean, it's just a really interesting feeling plant. The leaves are super rubbery. The pictures get sort of like a peachy fuzz on them. Just got a lot of interesting textures to it. This is a Veitchii pink that's not super happy right now. I think it's just gotten so big that I tried to move it down there. It didn't get enough light, so then it started pouting. I moved it back up here to see if it's happier, but we'll wait and see. It's not got any great pictures on it right now. They're all starting to kind of brown up a little bit. But here's one. Here's another. Got another one back here. You can see the old leaves are pretty large, but since it got moved, they started getting smaller. But I mean, it'll bounce back. I'm not too worried about it. It might need repotted soon too, just because I think it's been in that pot for quite a long time. But we'll see how it acts. I mean, it's not drying out too quickly, so. But I just don't want the media to break down too far. Let's see. Down here, this is one of the EP Truncatas that I got not too long ago. This is the red clone. E. Yeah. Truncata E. It's supposed to be a pretty red one. It's definitely got a lot of color to it, but we'll see. And the leaves open pretty reddish too, which is kind of cool. Here's a Maxima wavy leaf. Not too much going on it. Pictures are still fairly small. It's so hard to get back to these. This is a Ventricosa K cross Jungle Bells. So Ventricosa cross Ventricosa sudavensis. Starting to put on some size. It's got some really chunky pictures on it. Some little utricularia there. Glandulifera lowii, if I can get it. Here. Then an older picture up here. This is a really nice plant. I like it a lot. I think this one was from CK. I purchased it through Carnivoro, but I want to say it was a CK plant. There's another Veitchii back here. This one's from Wise. This is the Truncata H, I think. The squat one that's supposed to be pretty squat. And I actually haven't even seen this one yet. Nice. Definitely much more squat than a lot of the others. Which is super cool. Significantly more squat. The small Truncata from Carnivoro, I think this is DE cross, or no, D1 cross CE. That's what it is. You can see it's got a lot of redness to it, probably from the D parent, but still pretty small. This is a pretty complex hybrid from red leaf involving Ventricosa, lowii, and flava. I think Sibionensis as well. A lot of Ventricosa in it, as you can see. This is Talented Tower from Predatory Plants. There's a lot of Truncata, Fipiana. I think some Veitchii maybe. This one I think is Big Mama Cross Pink Candy Cane. Yeah, Big Mama Cross Pink Candy Cane, Veitchii. It's a pretty new one. Starting to put on a little bit of size though, which is nice. It's a little seed-grown Ventricosa here with some ferns that have been growing in its pot that I've just kind of left. They're not normally standing in water, by the way. It's just because I just watered them. Here's a Truncata Pasian Red. I think it's 3203, maybe? Yeah. This one, I'm really bummed that its pictures just kind of died or started browning up because it looks really nice. It looks very promising. It's number 5 Cross Pink Candy Cane. Veitchii. This one is my Hamada Edwardiana. This is the newest picture on it. I think this is the first one it gave me since moving it into the tent. I just want to see if I can get a little bit of faster growth in here. We'll see. This is LVB Cross Veitchii Candy Dreams. Pretty heavily striped. Super red body. Really happy about this one. And it's hard to tell, but I think I want to say Candy Dreams is known for having like black spots on the leaves, which I think I'm seeing, along with like that red, I want to call it a midrib, but I'm sure that's the wrong word. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hope y'all are doing well, and have a good day. Bye.